Today we're going to talk about living life the way we were made for. What were we made for? What were we meant for? What are we supposed to be experiencing? What is most core about us? And as we as a family camp team thought about that, we thought of the acronym with the word CORE. And so we're going to walk through that with you, and hopefully that will serve as a helpful reminder, an easy way to take notes. The C in CORE is communication with God. Praying to God. We talked about at Club, it can be as simple as the word help, but it can turn into a much longer conversation. If you haven't had a chance yet to check out Lainey Ellinger's seminar for adults or her one for kids, it's a great way to learn how to start the conversation with God. She has a ton of different tips, and you could pull any or all of those into your life as a way to remind us to be in communication with God. It makes such a difference. He's there, He's waiting, He's listening. He's been looking for us all along, just like that father of the lost son. He wants to be in relationship with us, and He wants to be in communication. The O in CORE is for opportunities for growth. And the biggest way I've had those in my life is by surrounding myself with a community of people who are really encouraging. So think about maybe the person that invited you to family camp, whoever that is. Is it a friend? Is it Young Life staff in your area? Another family? Whoever it is. Can you spend more time with them, or can you find others who they encourage you as you walk through hard and as you walk through good and as life happens to your family? Who are safe people that you can trust and that will spur you on and encourage you and help you experience community in a healthy way. The R in CORE stands for repeating voices. What does that mean? I think for me it has meant paying attention to what are the lies in my head that I tell myself about myself. You might have those in your head that you heard growing up, or maybe you hear them at work, or you've just started to believe them about yourself, even if they're not true. Maybe it's really simple lies like, I can't do this, or this is too hard, or I'm in over my head, or this always happens to me, or whatever that lie is. I know for me, going to therapy has really helped me sort out what are lies that are really not helping me to believe. So we want to figure out what those are and call those out and change those and start listening to truth, believing truth instead. And that's what the E actually stands for. E, exposure for wisdom, scripture, and the Bible, finding out what actually is true, so that we can fill our heads and hearts with that instead. That helps us live that core of what we're meant for. And as we were thinking about this seminar and preparing for it, and thinking about who we are in relation to God, one of the beautiful things we realized without even trying is those same four things, C-O-R-E, they're relevant to our relationship with our kids too. And as we encourage our kids and help them grow in their understanding of the love of God and that He wants to be in relationship with Him. Praying for our kids is one of the most important things we can do. When we feel helpless, when things just feel too hard in parenting or in the lives of our kids, praying for them can change everything. So let's commit to do that. Find ways to remind yourself to do that, or get a great book. If you haven't checked out the camp store virtually that we shared that with you, there are some books in there that could help you with that. With kids, we also want to give them opportunities for growth. That's going to help them in their relationships with Jesus and in their relationships with us. One of my favorite ways to do that is something called positive opposites, where we look at what is the behavior we want to change, and then what is the opposite of that, and we encourage even the smallest steps of the opposite of that. So just a practical example of that might be if you have a kid who's really loud and that's really grating on you and driving you crazy, instead of always yelling at them for being loud, switch your attention over to the times they're quieter. Maybe they're just a little bit quieter. Or maybe they whisper one time, or maybe they just aren't quite as quick to get loud. Encourage that, praise that like crazy, because what we give attention to grows. So many therapists have said that over the years in all kinds of different ways. Even if it's negative attention, the behavior we're paying attention to is going to grow. So let's not pay as much attention to what they're doing wrong. Let's pay attention to those small things they're doing right, even if it's an inch at a time, because we can grow that by giving that a lot of attention and praise. The R for our kids is also repeating voices. And for them, I think of it as the power of words spoken over them. So are there things we're doing that we're labeling them? Maybe we're calling them a troublemaker, or the naughty one, or the quiet one, or whatever it is. Kids are going to start to act more and more like that label we've given them. There's something called a self-fulfilling prophecy, where we just start to become who someone else says we are. So change those labels. Let's make those repeating voices in their lives ones that we want them to step into and to live into. And let's be careful what we say over them, so that that can have a powerful impact on them and on us. And then the E is exposure to wisdom. And so when we think about parenting, we can read a lot about Jesus and how he treated kids and how he treated human beings. And we can learn a lot from his example. We also are living in a cool season in history where it's like research and science are starting to prove and show things that we already knew from the Bible. And so let's pay attention to that. What are proven, research-proven methods that can help us become better parents to our kids? Is it leading by example? Is it being consistent? What are those things that over and over again we're seeing are the proven ways to help our kids end up on the best path? We want to pay attention to what's core to them, and we also want to pay attention to what's core to us, because we want them to be able to experience living in the way that they were made for, just like we want to do that as well. We're so glad you came this weekend. We hope that you will continue to stay in touch. Let us know how we can be helpful in any way as you continue this journey. Thanks for traveling with us.